giving up our mortality for our one true love. +1/+1 counters.
Only shooting stars break the mold.
Hello everybody and welcome to Brawl Stars. I'm Amy the Amazonian and today I'm revisiting one of my favorite decks, Arwen Mortal Queen. This is a +1/+1 counters deck, also known as a Scales deck. Arwen Mortal Queen is indestructible as long as she has her indestructible counter on her, but she can give up her immortality to give another creature immortality until end of turn, also putting a +1/+1 counter and a lifelink counter on both Arwen and the targeted creature. This is a great way to protect the creatures that you're buffing up by putting lots of counters on, or just make Arwen big and strong. This deck, being a Scales deck, does have ways to get extra +1/+1 counters like Conclave Mentor. It has a lot of ways to put +1/+1 counters on all of your creatures like Mikaeus the Lunarch. It has things that tap for some mana, make your creatures tap for a bit of extra mana, or tap themselves for extra mana, and also just a lot of cards that are very good with +1/+1 counters. And if you're wondering, why am I playing this deck right now? Because it just got a bunch of really great new cards. We got Metastatic Evangel. This is a new way of proliferating. We also got the Guide of Souls that can put +1/+1 counters and flying counters, turning things into angels if you want to go for more of a Voltron attempt. And we even got some cards in the standard legal sets, like Requisition Raid. This is a disenchant that can also put counters onto your creatures. It's very similar, in fact, to Knight of Autumn, but it lets you destroy both an artifact and an enchantment if you have the mana. We also got some fun cards like Ornery Tumblewag that just grow your creatures every turn and can double counters on a creature as well. There are so many different things that work well with the +1/+1 counter archetype, and they get even better at the hands of Arwen Mortal Queen. So we're going to take these Selesnya cards into the queue and we're going to grow some creatures. Roll Monsoon Mage. He flips coins to decide if he's going to transform or just sit around and keep discounting your spells. You can also choose not to transform him if that's just not your cup of tea. He discounts your instants and sorceries while he's in play, which is super strong because it means your counter spells and your burn spells cost less, allowing you to storm off and maybe flip Brawl over. If you cast a whole bunch of spells before transforming Brawl, he even comes in with more loyalty counters. And the more loyalty counters you are, the closer you are to his 8 loyalty ult, which gets you free spells! Oh my god, there's the Metastatic Evangel. I think I'm gonna go Rishkar first. Yeah, I'm gonna go Rishkar, and then next turn, hopefully double spell. So Metastatic Evangel is an absolutely nuts card. The fact that this card exists blows my mind, because to me, it should cost at least 3 mana. Whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, you proliferate, which means you play this and then any other creature, and it even proliferates itself. Here, allow me to demonstrate. I'm going to start by playing the Metastatic Evangel. And then I'm going to go to combat, because I would actually, like to put a counter onto the Metastatic Evangel. Now, I only need 3 mana to play Arwen, but I would like to hold up that indestructible effect, so I'm going to play her after. Does she get countered? Oh, darn. Okay, well, they countered her. But that's fine. Because they only have so many counter spells, right? I say, hoping that they don't just Storm's Wrath me here. I wanted to do the thing! Hi, Brawl! Brawl's like, I'll make my counter spells cost less!
Like mine.
Or I'll just Brain Surge. They did get a heads, but they're choosing not to transform him. I'm pretty sure that's what that was. Pretty sure? Yeah, and now they have another blue up. I have enough mana for Arwen, but I think it's better for me to go for the everything else. So I'm going to play Duskshell Crawler. Just a little guy. It starts by letting me put a counter. I'll put a counter on itself. It proliferates, including itself. And, I feel like I could use more proliferate. So I'm going to bring out the Bloated Contaminator, who's going to enter the battlefield and cause me to proliferate. And then I'm going to attack in with a nice beefy bundle of Rishkar and Metastatic Evangel, who have grown to be 6/6s and 7/5s. Arwen is just like, I got countered, so I'm watching. I wanted to have like 6 indestructible counters. Too bad, Arwen. You got countered. You got washed away. It only costs 1 blue mana. What I like about this is that I have enough just like toughness across this to resist almost every single board wipe Cyclonic Rift, sure. River's Rebuke, sure. But everything else, I should be pretty safe. Okay, Brawl. Oh, Brawl got a tails and he hurt himself. I also want to say that Brawl, the flavor of his card is really funny to me, because what caused his spark to ignite in canon is he had a really, really, really bad day where he met with Nicol Bolas and then left Nicol Bolas and got stabbed. And then while he was stabbed, he went to his boyfriend's poetry reading and found his boyfriend cheating on him. And then he was just so fed up with all of the things that were happening that his spark ignited. That's why he looks so sad in all of his art, because the sequence of events that caused him to get his spark were just a really bad day. A really, really bad day. So I'm just gonna attack in here. I got enough damage. We got lots of trample. Let's go. Hey! I was taking a turn over here. Rude. We've all been there. I don't know. I've never had a day where I got stabbed and met with a dragon god and then saw my boyfriend cheat on me. That sounds like a really bad day. In the words of a wise man, that's rough, buddy. Yeah, well, at least his boyfriend didn't turn into the moon. And also, because somebody else had, like, asked me about this once. No, the partner who cheated on him was not Tonic. It was some other punk. All right, so all of these spells in our graveyard now have flashback, which means they're going to take another extra turn. Pretty sure. You gonna time warp again? Oh, they're starting with a Pirate's Pillage because they have enough mana for it. Brawl, please stop hurting yourself. You're making me sad, buddy. And they take a time warp. And to me, this feels like they are just digging. Ow, down to 3. They're just digging to try and find their River's Rebukes or something like that. Unless they can pull off a storm turn, cast a ton of spells all at once, and then, I don't know, like grape shot me to death. You hope they burn themselves. Only 3 more spells. I love a little chaos. Okay, so this kind of reiterates. They're a storm deck. Because here's Bertie, God of Storytelling. Whenever they cast a spell, they're going to get extra red mana, including this spell. This also allows them to tap these for mana. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana available. Remember, all the instants and sorceries cost 1 less. They've had bad luck. Just like Brawl! It's just like Brawl. I'm gonna... I kind of want to play a creature first. Okay, so they don't have discontinuity. They do have enough mana, though, for, like, a big bouncy. Alright, this time... Witch continuity already happened to discontinuity. Go to combat. I'm going to attack with 1, 2, 3, 4 of you. 4 of you. Leaving back Luminar Casperant. Because I don't know. Something's fishy. Okay, unsubstantiate. Get rid of the trample. This already has trample. If they have another one. It's possible that I did need to attack in with more, but I left back, like, the cheaper one. And also, like, this hasn't entered the battlefield. Okay, so they're committing the Contaminator. You're gonna have to kill those two. Okay, so, like, good news, bad news. We're still in it. They're not. We're going to throw down Duskshell Crawler. It will, again, get those counters and proliferate. Throw a counter on ourselves. We'll proliferate. Watley's Raptor. It proliferates, and then it proliferates again. Ooh, oh, ow. That is them paying a life for their fetch. What, Lee's Raptor? Yeah, that Lee's Raptor. This one. Bloop. You have 3 cards in hand. Make it 2 cards in hand. And they're drawing a fresh hand, which to me means they don't have a mass bounce spell. Because those cost 6 or 7 mana. Hey, Brawl. Another discounter. They're thirsty. But you know what else they are? The dead. We are going to swing in again, this time with everything. And make him go bye-bye. See you later, Brawl, Monsoon Mage. Sauron, the Dark Lord. Hey there, Sauron, the Dark Lord. What do we have here? We've got... removal. Exile for graveyard. Some recursion. This is not what I want against Sauron, so I'm going to throw it back and grab a new hand. Sauron the Dark Lord is usually Grixis control. Occasionally Grixis Amass / Tempted by the Ring. But, like, that just happens naturally with Sauron. Whenever I cast a spell, they amass. And if they hit me with an army, they get Tempted by the Ring. And if they get Tempted by the Ring, they can discard their hand and draw new cards. Throw down this Boseiju. Oh, I guess I drew a force. I could have done that. Doesn't matter. Grateful Apparition. This is going to on-hit proliferate. You like the 70s concert poster alt art of Sauron? I don't think it's in Arena, though. It's just kind of too bad. I don't have a way to put a counter onto the Grateful Apparition here. I could proliferate the Jugon Defense of the Temple, though, or Arwen. I am going to go for the Jugon Defense of the Temple over the Arwen. Swinging in, proliferating this, and putting a counter on each the Hopeful Initiate and the Grateful Apparition, so I can then proliferate the counters on this, so it will be an ever-growing threat in the air. And I think having a growing threat in the air is going to be really helpful, since Sauron is hard to get rid of, doesn't have reach, but he really clogs up the ground. Like, they will always have things on... like, they'll always have things to block with, because every time I cast a spell, they get an army. Well, once they get the 7 mana. Oh, you mean Arwen's art. I opened one of those. The alt art of Arwen. It's very cool looking. It's completely illegible. The alt art for Sauron is also completely illegible, but really cool looking. I kind of wish that those were just, like, super rare promotional art you could get. Like, I'd buy them as a poster. I just don't want them on my Magic cards because I can't read them. I guess I have these cards memorized. Guess. Solemn Simulacrum, getting a land. If they attack him with this goblin, we can very easily block. I'm not sure if they would. Who needs to read in Magic? Me! I need to read in Magic. It's a lot of words. Okay, I will throw down Arwen. We'll pay 1. And then I think I'll go for the Brushland, keeping the Indestructible up. Yeah. And since she has 2 indestructible counters on her, she can use up her indestructible and still keep herself alive. I'd say my main targets that I really want to keep alive are the Remnant and the Apparition. The Remnant can become a 7/7. It also lets me put counters on other creatures, and the Grateful Apparition is just growing us and feeding this every single turn. I also could have chosen not to put a counter on Arwen and just held up the 2 different indestructibles. Alright, they're swinging in, making a treasure. This could be a board wipe. I guess I'll block with the indestructible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, just 6. Yeah, 6 mana. I can destroy Fable. Yeah, it takes 3 mana to destroy this. 3 mana and a couple of counters. Ill-timed explosion. I don't believe I get to respond to the card they're discarding, so I'm going to do this now. Giving the Grateful Apparition the Indestructible. They're gonna eat Arwen! Oh no! Okay, well... I guess at least the Grateful Apparition will live. I don't know, I imagine that this is... Yeah, this all resolves at once. Or is it like a delayed trigger? Alright, Grateful Apparition, you're gonna carry me home, right? Toski! I know, I could have played Arwen there. But Squirrel, are you gonna unsummon this? I wonder if they had a 1-mana counter spell there. Toski, Indestructible. Grateful Apparition, growing. And I'll play this creature land. What's a Drate? Oh, because it says if you do, or when you do. Yeah, when you do is like a key phrase on a lot of cards. Alright, so there's Sauron. This has to attack unless I tap it with something. I'm going to pay... Or make sure that I have 1 mana up here. Yeah, that's great. Oh, they have another counterspell? Active Negation. Okay. Sure. They both have to attack. Okay, this has to attack. This doesn't. Boop, boop. We get to draw a card. Aw, Stonecoil Serpent! I actually am going to just throw this down for 1, since it has protection from multicolored. Which means it can freely block Sauron. Arwen was just trying to marry a ghost, and then she got eaten by piranhas. What a way to go. I'm going to block the Stonecoil Serpent here, just so they don't get to drop their hand and get a fresh one. Because I don't think they would have attacked if they didn't have something they really, really wanted. Grabbing lands. I'm feeling just pop down Arwen again. Yeah, have your orcs. I want to proliferate her indestructible counters. Something about having 2 indestructible creatures strikes joy in me. Nice, we got a land off the draw. Apparition is now a 7/7 with 4 lifelink counters on it. It's normal. I also have 39 life. Oh, hey, Grenzo. Grenzo's gonna do some crime. All right, Grenzo, what do you steal? You get to cast it for free. But I'll warn you now, a lot of the cards in my deck aren't actually very good. Maybe they'll get Vorinclex with Reach. I don't think they got Vorinclex with Reach. I do wish I knew what they got, though. GG, Sauron. Torens, Fist of the Angels. Another Selesnya commander. This Selesnya commander makes soldiers, human soldiers with training, each time you cast a creature with Torens on the battlefield. This is great for going wide, growing creatures because of that training, and generally being a very Selesnya kind of deck, just like us. So I have a choice here between gaining life and ramping. I'm going to choose to ramp to try to get Arwen out a little earlier. And if not Arwen, maybe I will do Guide of Souls into Dusk Legion Duelist or the Duskshell Crawler this turn. I will untap. Hello, I have mana. Not that much, but just enough. This draws me cards if we put counters on it. We can put a counter on it with this, or this, or this. Acquisition rate's really nice. Oh, Ancient Ziggurat. Neat. They're getting rid of the guide before I can get any more creatures in play. Ozolith lets them bank counters, and they're not attacking in. Also kind of like Mothra here. But since I have an Ozolith, let's make full use of the cards that we got. Get some counters on our things. That gets me another card drawn. Ooh, a Ganjo. Yeah, sure, I'll attack in. You want to trade? Probably not. A 3/3, slightly bigger than your 2/2. Isn't our opponent's name the, like, fancy violin company? Stradivarius? I feel like I've seen that name before. Ooh, Metallic Mimic! Are you naming human? Soldier? Human! That way, if they replay Torens, he will also get a counter because he's not a soldier, he's a cleric. You can tell because he has a mace, which for some reason is the weapon of choice for clerics. I don't know where that comes from. It's a thing in like every video game and I don't know why. You feel like this should be a pirate? No, they're the conquistador ladies. They're like the opposite of a pirate. Draw me another card, please. Also give a little bit of trample, please. I am going to attack with the Dusk Legion Duelist here. If they would like to double block, I'm totally down with that trade. It's a D&D thing. Because the clerics made a pact not to stab. But, like, what about surgery? That involves cutting implements. It's because clerics were only proficient in hammers, maces, and flails in D&D. But, like, where did it come from? Like, why is that the case? Perhaps I'll never know. Let's proliferate. Oh, and I can even proliferate this battle. Good, it automatically selected it. I'll play the Skews. Oh, I should have manually tapped that. That's fine. I just need 1 mana up. So I can activate Arwen if I need to. They can make stuff indestructible. So can I. I guess I could have attacked in with Arwen too. I'm just waiting. In case I need to block. Like, to protect against that. Nice. Luminarch Aspirant. Spin out yet another one of these human soldiers. Boromir's getting bigger. But we can get bigger than Boromir. I'm just double checking. We win this fight. I'm trying to think like what they could have in hand. No, I think we're good. Alright, so Torens is going to get trained, as are the other training creatures. A lot of training happening. Splunk, splunk, splunk. Dusk Legion Duelist in front of you. Arwen here. Avacyn's Pilgrim there. And, swap places. You're here, you're there. You want to sacrifice that Boromir? Alright, so that changes how we get to do our blocks. So I will protect the Skews and the Arwen. Well, Arwen already had Indestructible, but now she's killing Torens. Well, not killing. Now she's sitting there, minding her own business against Torens and gaining life. Ooh, puppy. Okay, we have... Trample. Let me just proliferate. Ooh, we get to draw a card. Yeah, we attack in. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 toughness. We have a lot more power coming in. GG Torens. Arna Kennerid, Sky Captain. Arna Kennerid is a very well-protected creature. It's got a strong ward cost, and it doubles counters and equipment. And I think auras, all attached to attacking creatures. Arna's a very strong commander, but she costs 5 mana. So how do they stay alive until that? Well, they can board wipe, kill things, and counter things because it's an Esper commander. This hand, by the way, is a little iffy because of our, let's call it lack of mana. But I'm still willing to go in for it. So we're going to start with the Hopeful Initiate. This is going to train and learn many things. I'll play Bill. Billiam. Hoping that we get another land. Nice archives. Oh, and we've got the Peep Peep song. Perfect. Light Paws! That will get them extra auras for each of their auras. I'm gonna buff Bristly Bill. Give you a little bit of extra. We train the Hopeful Initiate. And why I really wanted this hand is because the Hopeful Initiate can destroy artifacts and enchantments, which is going to be good against, like, the auras and the things like that Arna's doing. Cool, we win. Roxanne, Thrower of Rocks, and also Rocker of Our World. When she enters the battlefield or attacks, she makes meteorites! Those are these tap for 1 mana of any color, but deal 2 damage when they enter the battlefield. That means that my little itty-bitty creatures are not safe. At all. Like, at all. However, Arwen is very safe because she's indestructible. There may have some burn spells that can remove indestructible, but for the most part, we're going to be dealing with them ramping and throwing rocks at things like Llanowar Elves while we just try to make our Arwen and other things stronger. Okay, fine. You can abrade. I don't have anything to proliferate here, so I'm going to start with this Stonecoil Serpent. I want to get this down early, hoping to proliferate it using something like Watley's Raptor if I don't get another mana source, in order to block, because it has protection from multicolored, but not from the meteorite. I have to make it into a 3/3. See if this ends up dying. They already used an abrade. Utopia Sprawl, that's some good ramp. Making this tap for more. So they do have 4 mana here, which means that next turn, they could play Roxanne and they could rock my Stonecoil Serpent. I think that playing the Watley's Raptor here isn't that great, but it does save the Stonecoil Serpent. I'm trying to decide if I'd rather, like, maintain my mana a little better, or maybe play the Bloated Contaminator, and just to let them kill the Stonecoil Serpent. Hoping that I have other better blockers. I'm gonna let that happen. I'm gonna play the Contaminator and swing in for 2. And this, of course, this is reliant on them having another land. They do have another land. Here comes Roxanne. Throwing rocks, as she does. Bye, Stonecoil Serpent. You were beautiful. So beautiful. Ooh, gonna shock that, and very happy to get a land there. Here comes Arwen. We're going to attack in with the Bloated Contaminator. If they block, we make the Contaminator indestructible. If they don't, Arwen gets another indestructible counter. But then we can, like, spread the love. So long as Roxanne is in play, she does have this, let's say, nasty specialty of also letting these artifact tokens tap for 2 mana. Which, I don't know why she does that. Like, she really did not need that text. There is no reason why Roxanne should be making it so you get 2 extra mana every turn. Okay, Roxanne's coming in. We will block with Arwen. She is indestructible. You just hit my face, right? Yeah. Bing bong. I will block, and I'm going to put a counter onto the Bloated Contaminator. So this is a 3/3, also lifelinking. But they still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. That's just enough to replay Roxanne. Ooh, or Clothes. This will be exiling from graveyards, getting them either mana or damage. Fable of the Bables. Getting the Magoblini, who attacks and makes treasures, which again tap for 2 with Roxanne, lets them filter their hand, and is just generally a good card. I kind of want to start with a little proliferating here, so let me bring out the Raptor. Actually, ooh, getting the Kami, growing the Kami. I know what I want to do. I'm going to start by attacking in. I want to get another indestructible counter. Look at them getting poisoned. We're going to win, because we have a big, ever-growing, indestructible life-linking creature that's going to be outgaining them. Maybe if they had like an Ulamog off the top to use all their mana for, they could take over the game. But for now, our indestructible is winning the game. GG, Roxanne. Yarok, the Desecrated. Yarok, the Desecrated is an enter the battlefield doubler for any sort of permanence. Let's see, who do we have here? Mana Tithe, Conclave Mentor, all things that I'm happy to have. Yarok is great with landfall. It's great with things that like enter the battlefield and exile or destroy creatures, or even get you more lands so you can just keep on ramping. I don't have anything that like really costs 1 mana to play here, so I'm just going to hold with a Mana Tithe. If there's nothing for me to counter on their turn, I'm gonna crack open Arid Mesa and get the Surveil land. Two mana. Sure, I'll tie the Signet. Slow them down an itty bitty bit. I think we can just go into the Chalk land here, since we're pretty good at gaining life with Arwen. Hey. Huh. Sure. Well, they can't pay 5 mana. That's a way to concede. Quintorius Kand. Quintorius is the elephant that discovers things, and also gains you life and deals damage to your opponent when you cast things from exile. Like, if you discover. Let's see, I've got a human, I've got an elf. I'm gonna save that Cavern of Souls and start with the Misty Rainforest. Crack it open into the Shockland. There she is. Guide of Souls. Get me that energy, hopefully get me those counters. We have a 2-drop as well, the Dusk Legion Duelist. Yeah, those are cards being put into exile. That grows the dog. Once a turn, this can grow. But that's, I believe, mine and theirs. Oh no, it's only during your turn. Dusk Legion Duelist. Vigilant, draws me cards. It's just good. Very good with this archetype. Nice, more casting from exile. They do have a soul partition here, which means that one of my creatures could be temporarily exiled. Alright, so Dusk Legion Duelist is gonna go hang out here, and the dog grows. I love seeing this dog just getting absolutely dummy thick. Arwen. Nice little indestructible friend. Swinging for another one. And now we can block since this has indestructible. Hi, Lelia. Lelia will be getting counters and putting things in exile. I'll prevent 4 damage instead of 3. The card they got, they can't use this turn, though. They just don't have 2 mana for it. Ooh. Can that discounted light up the stage for 2 more things they can play next turn? War Crafting and a Plains. I'll name Elf. Use the raptor, the proliferate. Double checking the cards in graveyard. Would I like to pay 3 energy? Sure would. I'm going to buff up the Guide of Souls here. And then pass the turn, leaving up 2 mana so I could activate Arwen twice. I want to protect whatever they want to hit with this Warcrafting, and also be able to block Lelia. Maybe. I'm not too worried about these. I have Big Flyer. Do you think this is the most aggressive Quintorius deck you've ever seen? It's kind of like my Quintorius deck, where it was focused very much on playing things from exile, versus the other Quintorius deck you occasionally run into, which is just annoying, because it's just like, hey, how many times do you want to see me wipe the board? Because I just keep discovering into board wipes, and it's like, would you please stop? They're dropping a Chandra's Hope's Beacon. I'm getting a Kayla's Kindling. They also have a Plains here off of, I think that was from Lelia. Oh no, this is from Lelia. It's another plane, so I'm not too worried about the Warcrafting. You have Trample. The puppy. That was from Inti. And we make the Raptor indestructible. Also lifelinking. Just until end of turn. Okay, before we pass to my turn, I am going to be buffing up the Guide of Souls. So I have a lot of damage coming out here. Double checking for creatures in graveyards, because, like, Champion of Flamehold, I don't have a way to buff up right here. That's totally fine. Just swinging with all of them. Gain a bunch of life, have a little fun. Oh, I think yeah, I didn't have a way to play 2 creatures here. But if I could... Ooh, that energy. I'll bring out the Bloated Contaminator. What a name. We're still at 25 life. Soul Cauldron. So this Mishra's Research Desk, they just put that in their graveyard. It can be replayed from the graveyard. I am going to exile it. Lelia's like, a thing got put into exile. Yippee! Yep, it sure did, Lelia. It sure did. Yeah, I much prefer this Quintorius deck. It can still be really explosive. I have seen Quintorius decks that are built around the more, like, just purely cast from exile shell do a ton of damage in a turn. Ooh, nice. They got a Lightning Helix. They also exiled 2 cards on that Discover. So I think Lelia will see 2 cards. Oh, no, it's 1 or more on that one. There's a few cards that, like, exile 1 at a time. No, Cascade and Discover are 1 at a time. You can deal 3 damage. Who's taking it? The Wapta? The little guy? Yeah, Lelia does get 2 triggers from that. Nice. So you got another when she runs in. They can give something trample here if they're willing to discard a card. Lelia and War Doctor see every card from Cascader discovered, says Armada on Fire. I love that. I opened a bunch of War Doctor cards when I opened up a bunch of collector boosters for Doctor Who. And it was very, 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 very tempting to do something with them. Okay, I think we play a puppy. Doesn't matter who we play here. Just trying to make sure we have enough delicious, delicious energy. Everybody at base. Would I like to pay some energy? Sure would. And I'll throw Arwen in the air. trying to force them to block with Inti. They didn't. They just kind of resigned to death. GG. Admiral Brass. Unsinkable! Oh, what a card she is. This is the Admiral Brass that brings back pirates from the graveyard. She also puts pirates in the graveyard. She is a self-feeding reanimation engine that doesn't just bring them back, she also makes them bigger. She makes it so you are getting 4/4 pirates with haste, though they have a finality counter. Oh no, you can only bring them back and have them die one more time instead of continuously bringing them back. They're still insanely strong, especially because most pirates you want to play are only like 1/1s or 2/2s on their own. I will go ahead and use the Luminarch Aspirant to beef up herself. Plaza of Heroes. Am I feeling Arwen? Grateful Apparition. I'm feeling Grateful Apparition and holding this Mana Tithe. I'm going to spread the love. Luminarch Aspirant and Grateful Apparition now each have a counter on them. Malcolm! Die, Malcolm. Hate that bird. Oh, well, they hate that I hate that bird, so that's perfect. GG. The Necrobloom. Landfall. Get a plant or get a zombie if you have 7 differently named lands. These are actually really great cards for me to have in my opening hand. They just don't really do anything until we're up to, like, turn 4, which should be fine because Necrobloom is not the fastest deck. Necrobloom has to set up, but if it has an explosive ramping start, it can go crazy. Hello there, Necrobloom. I have the first move. I played a Plains. Well, actually, I played a Prismatic Vista, and I paid 1 life, and I sacrificed it, and then I got a Plains. Deathrite Shaman. Oh, no! I put a land in the graveyard. Well, that's on me. I did draw something that's a little bit better for me to play over the Huatley's Raptor, though, since I don't have anything to proliferate, and I would like to save the proliferate from things like the Raptor, from Staff of Completion, for once I have Arwen down, or just counters on things. Like you. There's counters on you, the Stonecoil Servant. Hello, Deathrite Shaman. Would you like to exile the land from my graveyard and generate a mana of any color? It's okay if you don't want to. I should also mention that Necrobloom has more text. It gives all the lands in your graveyard dredge, so if you would draw a card, you can instead choose to mill 2 cards and return one of the lands that was already in your graveyard to your hand. It's a really great way to guarantee landfalls. You're just like staring down my snake. Not in like a flattering way, grandsire. What are you thinking about there with your fiddle thup? Okay, they're getting another mana. Inquisition of Kozilek. Well, thankfully, all of our cards are good. So, yes, they'll make us discard one. But which will they make me discard? Kodama. So Kodama was going to let me ramp. So that's very fair that they got rid of it. Dang. This also ramps. The Marsh Flats. Ndatha Triome. So they just have 1 green here. I'll go ahead and throw down a forest. Somebody in chat wants me to say sheesh. And I'm going to play the Jugon Defense the Temple and swing in for 2. This gets me a 1/1 that taps for 1. Then it will let me put counters on my creatures. And then it will flip over into the Remnant of the Rising Star. This is a 2/2 or a 7/7. It also lets me put counters on things when they enter the battlefield. Scoot Bug! Are you going to make another bug? A Bug-a-Bug? Bug-a-Bug 2, the sequel to Bugs. One of the scariest landfall cards. I hope I can get rid of it, but I'm not sure I'll be able to. Alright, we're going to put counters on these 2. I have 5 mana. I'm like trying to decide between proliferating and proliferating. I think I'm going to choose proliferating. Next turn. Just gonna sit here like, yeah, I'll protect this. You want a double block? I guess I could have played the staff first instead of holding up the indestructible ability, since I'm not too scared of them destroying things here. Usually there's a couple board wipes in a Necrobloom deck. I personally like Blood on the Snow, and we do see a snow-covered forest, and Meatoke Massacre because you're making tokens. Blood on the Snow, though, means running as many snow-covered lands as possible, which is kind of bad because you want lots of lands that have lots of different names because Necrobloom cares about that. Ooh, Vine-Souled Spider! Puts lands directly into the graveyard. I run this in my Givrog monster deck. Nice. So Jukan defends the temple, flips over. Nice. Ooh, a land. Love that for us. Looking at the mana that I've got. I've got so many choices here. I'm gonna start by putting a counter on Arwen. And then proliferating using Watley's Raptor. And paying the 1 to Remnant of the Rising Star. This is to maximize the number of modified creatures that I have. Excluding the Remnant itself has not yet been modified. And shucks, yeah, we can swing in. They may block Stonecoil Serpent, Divine Soul, and maybe one of the insect tokens. I think that would be fair. Feels like a good trade to me. Also, since they're putting lands in the graveyard, they're going to constantly get more mana off Deathrite Shaman if they're not planning on bringing all those lands back. Being able to replay lands from the graveyard with something like Ramanop Excavator is also really strong in Necrobloom. If you're wondering, like, Amy, why do you seem to love Necrobloom so much? It's because I really like Necrobloom. This was the first deck I built for Modern Horizons 3, and it was also a deck that I liked so much that I updated it within a week and published a second video, just on Wizards of the Coast channel rather than my channel. Deathrite Shaman. Getting some mana. Okay, that is a 5th mana since this taps for 2, and I worked hard on making those creatures big. They hit me with a Dusk. I actually had a player cast Dusk against me in their Necrobloom deck. I want to say it was yesterday, and then concede because they realized it didn't kill a bunch of my stuff. Like it didn't kill Arwen, because she's indestructible. Beseju. A staff. Champion a Lambholt. Sure, I'll pay the 1, which is actually 2 life for this. So those bugs can't block. Be gone, buggy bugs. Once I get to 6 land, they start cloning themselves, and they're a lot scarier. Nice. Hawk. Doubling those lands. Getting them the Scoot Swarm active, and also 1 big blocker. They can sacrifice one of these Misty Rainforests on my turn as well to get another duplicated land. Or they could just do it now to make more bugs. What are you doing? What are you doing with all those bugs? Thankfully the bugs can't block. Hawk can block, though. I'm like trying to think here. I could use the double indestructible to buff up this, and I can proliferate the counters on it. Oh, hey, Hamza. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to put a counter on Remnant of the Rising Star. I'm going to proliferate. I am going to attack with both of you. Champion, you stay back. Hawk is going to go up to 7, right? 7 or 6. Because they gotta get the duplicate, so it's going to be 7. Land in the graveyard. Why have more bugs later when you can have more bugs now? Genius. Yep, that's bugs. That's, bugs. Like, you blocking? You have to block. And you can only block with the puck. Gaining 2 life. You gotta block. You gotta block and you're gonna die. So I have choices here of how I can put the counters on it. I could untap this and proliferate, but I'm actually going to choose to buff up the Remnant of the Rising Star again to get more damage in. In fact, we could do it again, but it's not lethal, so it doesn't matter to me. It would just gain me a tiny bit more life. I have mana for Hamza, so here's a Hamza. Boop. And I guess we'll put a counter on him. Or maybe I should be saving that 1 mana for Indestructible in case of another board wipe. Nah. Or in case I need more lifelink. Nah. I mean, a Meat Hook Massacre would kill me here. If they attacked with everything and then Meat Hook Massacred for 1, I'd be dead. But that would be cool. Because they would do the thing. But they don't have the thing. So we're gonna win. GG Necrobloom. Phelia, Exuberant Shepherd. What kind of stinks about Phelia is that she blinks your stuff or their stuff, which means that we can load up as many counters as we want on something for her to reset them. I'm going to go ahead and start with this Misty Rainforest. Crack it open to grab my Jockland. And a Guide of Souls. Yes, so when Phelia attacks in, she can exile another non-land permanent, yours or theirs. And then it comes back at end of turn. That adds up pretty quickly to be, well, a bit of a pain in the butt on this dog. It also has flash, so, like, the dog is going to happen. The dog is going to happen. I was just mentioning that I don't like farewell in chat, and somebody said CGB would like to have a word with you. Listen, I've played games with CGB before. I am very aware of what he causes to happen. One Arwen, please. CGB and I, opposite spectrums of the magic scale. He doesn't play Commander, by the way, the same way he plays Brawl. He's very, very spiky in Brawl, but he is very able and open to playing casual Commander. It's probably worth saying that. Whereas my Brawl decks and my Commander decks vary so much in scale. I have Brawl decks that are very spiky and are very dedicated to winning. I have Brawl decks that are kind of casual and off of a theme, but not as many just because it's harder to make content with those. But my Commander decks, some of my Commander decks are... I just finished brewing a Commander deck that's like, I'm kind of getting it ready for Bloomburrow. It is a Bant Bigs and Littles, Littles and Bigs deck, where every single card is either a giant or teeny tiny. You have to be smaller than a human or have the creature type giant to be in the deck. Would I like to pay too? I didn't get a land here, so... decline. So they can blink out their doggy if they want. Here we go, Littles and Bigs. I'm just double checking the text on this. Yes, it's leaves the battlefield. I was making sure of that. Or Phelia. Also, some of my decks are very satisfying for me to play and very annoying to play against. Somebody's mentioning crime in the chat. Yes, my crime decks are extremely frustrating to play against, but oh boy, are they fun to pilot. Hi, Phelia. What a good doggy. They could also blink the Ozolith after, or destroy it. Lots of choices there. Containment Priest. Ah, I see what you're up to. So what they're doing here is they're saying if a non-token creature would enter the battlefield and it was not cast, it gets exiled. Meaning that if Phelia here exiles something, it will not come back. Now, I can still bank the counters from this, or I could put the counters onto something else. I think the Indestructible is actually not going to be that big in this game. So I am going to remove the Indestructible from her to put a counter onto Puppy Dog here. She leaves the battlefield. We're going to bank Lifelink. Yeah, lifelink and +1/+1, and we're just gonna put this in exile since she's not coming back. She would just be exiled. We draw for turn. Remember, the dog has flash. Woof woof. Would I like to pay too? Nope. Would hope to get a land though. I'm gonna throw these counters from the Ozolith onto the puppy dog. Swinging with both. And hello, Phelia, and goodbye, Phelia. This is a Shadow Spear here. That's part of why I'm saying, like, the Indestructible is not that big in this game. Skyfisher! Who are you putting back in the hand? A land. Oh, it's a Witch Enchanter. I'm sorry, Witch Enchanter? This Enchanter? Well, it is Disenchanter. Because it disenchants when it enters the battlefield, destroying my Ozolith. By the way, I don't know if that's intentional, but I find it very funny. There's actually a command in my chat where if you type !witch, W-H-I-C-H, and then the name of something, it will use Scryfall to look up cards starting with D-I-S and then the word you put in. Because we're silly little guys. Do I pay the 2? Decline. Wish we got a land though. We are seriously stuck on lands here. Yeah, somebody just typed which information campaign, which brings up this information campaign. Oh no, my puppy dog! Work! Work! It's a good dog, though. Which spell? Dispel! Somebody did witch continuity? Discontinuity. Witch enchant, disenchant. We're very serious over on my channel. Extremely serious. A land? I would never decline. Ugh, if only it was a white mana source. It doesn't really matter. I'm giving them more mana. More. More! Okay, so with what they currently have, they can put a counter on this and block. It has lifelink. So I think we just attack in with the Guide of Souls and we put more counters on it? Or do I want to go for the Grateful Apparition? I'm trying to decide if I think they have more instant speed removal. I guess we'll find out. Kills their fire. They do gain life because of the Shadow Sphere. By the way, if I had just attacked them with the Grateful Apparition, they could have just blocked it. Gained enough life off it. Hi, Phelia! Are you gonna blank my Guide of Souls? Bet. Kill the dog! Yeah, that's why I didn't quite want to do it. But it's like, if I attack them with the Dust Shell, it didn't force them to block. Gets awkward on all sides. Oh, Swords of Flimfity Flamp. Mountain Dew and Doritos. Love those. See if I can get some counters on stuff. Well, she just keeps exiling my stuff. Non-land permanent. You only apply to creatures, though, right? Yeah. Ooh. A moth. Got Moth and a Tithe, Arwen and Proliferate. I kind of like Moth and Tithe. It doesn't give me anything being proliferated here. Arwen gives me a slightly faster clock, but we'll see if I just get a land next turn. So yeah, I'm gonna go for this. I will proliferate all nothing, but get my 1 damage in. This is protection from red and green, so I can't block it with the Dusk Shell Crawler. Oh, look at you getting lifelink. Yeah, I mean, Phelia is up to 8. That's part of why I've been so determined to kill her. Unfortunately, they have a Patriarch's Humiliation. You gonna blink something? In life, scry, okay. So they're gonna probably get rid of the text on Luminous Broodmoth, take away its flying, if they can't kill it here. Or maybe they'll just kill the Grateful Apparition. Now, so they're going to deal 3 damage to this. Take away the flying, take away its abilities. I would never. Decline! Ooh. I know what I want. I want number go up. I think I'll throw it onto you to make the double block bad. They don't have any legends, so they can't Tyrite Sanctum. But why didn't they move the spear over? Swinging with Containment Priest. We're bringing out the Virtue of Loyalty's Ardenvale Fealty. But you're going to deal damage anyway. Right, because you have Trample from the Shadow Spear. Okay, no blocks. Good old Chuck no blocks over here. Let's see, you exile a land and Priest of Ancient Lord. That's card draw, life gain. And they can even play an extra land this turn. And they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana up. 1 short of dog, but, like, when I draw a card. We have established I'm not paying the 2. Decline. Trying to decide if I want to go in on that Arwen or not. Proliferating her Indestructible, but, like, the Indestructible really not doing anything for me here. I will throw a counter onto the Grateful Apparition. Oh, wait, Ganjo, I was thinking about using one of those. Telling me to get lost? Okay, block with the priest. Whose Ganjo? My Ganjo? That's nuts. I'm not using this tithe for anything. We are far past that point. Hey, Luminar Gasprint, you want a counter? Or a land? Night Autumn? Oh, love a Night of Autumn. Thank you. Destroying that Shadow Spear or that sword. So they stop gaining life. Phelia. She's having fun. Let's not yuck her yum. Alright, they got a Stonebinder's Familiar. And an Inspiring Overseer. By the way, they do have 7 mana now. Lunameria's call to make their creatures indestructible. Also make some big old birds. I actually am paying the 2. Because I'm not using that 1 extra mana for anything. Hello. Excuse me. Stop having card advantage. Thank you. Throw it on... you. See what's on top. Could be a land. Nope, it's land or elf. Throw it in the trash. Make him bigger. Recruiter of the Guard! What creature do you tutor for? Alright, this is weird. I've played a lot with this set with Modern Horizons 3. I don't know if I've ever seen this card before. It gets Solitude. I think it might be time for an emergency exit button. Hey. Do you have a mana tithe? Okay, Blinky Doggy. No, hey, my least favorite spell. Yeah, it's still in the deck. Doesn't mean I like it. I think we could go for Marwyn or Bossry. I'm actually planning on going for Bossry here. Bossry is something that we are just trying to ult. We are trying to bring him out early. Even if he has nothing to put a counter onto, that's fine. We just want him to grow.
Now is the time to strike.
Oh, Rescuer Chewinga. They can pay the 1. They've known about this mana tithe the whole time. That does give them a way to deal damage to Bossry. Ouchie. Phelia gives them a way to reset the loyalty on Bossry, which is, like, kind of cute. But they would need enough mana for it. Am I feeling Arwen or Tumble Swag here? Tumble Swag. I love Tumblewag. Look at this thing. How could you not love this? He's ornery. He's just a grumpy little fella. You would exile my swag? Fine, I'll grab a basic. I would rather we have board wipes like Damnation in Arena. Just so I could yell, Damnation! Oh no, Stoneforge Mystic! Already dealt with 2 of your silly equipment. Lion Sash. Eats things from the graveyard. Quite good. And I guess you blink Stoneforged Mystic to get all the equipment out of your deck. And this lets them kill Basri.
No peace for the unworthy.
Hi, Rishka. Wait. They didn't eat a permanent. Oh, because there were no permanents. Right, I exiled graveyards. Okay, I hate to say I forgot, but like... I forgot.
My sand will protect you.
They didn't flicker Stoneforge. I wonder if they have no equipment left in their deck. Because we've already seen 3. That's a considerable amount. She's double indestructible, but only until end of turn. Rishkar. Agatha's Soul Cauldron. Listen, you want to exile permanents from graveyard? I'm gonna beat you to it. I'm trying to think of like things they could play that would make them grow. None of these are legendary.
I will guard your advance.
We swing in with Arwen. Huh. Surprised they didn't keep that, but I guess we've been keeping them off of Phelia for so long that they just really want to be able to replay her. Listen, I don't think you're gonna find a way to recast that. That's not stopping me. You want to exile it first? It does nothing for either of us. Hello, Staff of Completion. Don't mind if I do. A Proliferate Engine.
Ketra's love is your sheath.
It can also be used for card draw. But we use it for Proliferate here, so we can Proliferate Basri to ult next turn. Puppy draws them a card. Look, it's going to draw them 2 cards because of Panharmonicon. 4 if they blink it at end of turn. They could also, like, unattach the Lion Sash, throw everybody at Basri. Does not look like they're into it, so I'm going to Proliferate. They have 7 mana still up. Oh, wait, I have 5 mana. Hell yeah, brother! Do it again! Arwen's triple indestructible. One more time. Love that for us. And we're gonna go ahead and use Basri Cat's -6 ability. Swing in with both of these homies. And I think Rishkar and Arwen are going to get married. We attack in. And because we want our life to not be 8, Arwen and Rishkar kiss. It was a beautiful ceremony. They're ephemerating the dog. It will draw them 2 more cards. Look at that hand refill. Yeah, this gets exiled as it resolves. There's no like window for me to hit it with the Soul Cauldron there. At least I don't think there is. Yeah, with Rebound. Rebound's weird. It's fine. You can activate it again. Draw. Ooh, puppy! It's like a puppy in my heart, okay? They ephemerate. The dog returns. I love how they have 8 cards in hand. Guide of Souls. Creatures entering the battlefield will get them 2 beautiful, beautiful energy counters. Dawn of a New Age. What does that do? Draws cards, then gains life. They Blinky to dog. It gets them 2 energy and 2 life. And 2 cards. I'm so glad we finally got past the point of just dealing with the containment priest stuff. That was so much of this game. So I want to proliferate first. I actually should have used one of Arwen's things. That's fine. I'm planning on -2ing on Bossery. I'll go ahead and throw one of these on there. Making some extra little guys. Making even some more extra little guys. Go for it, kids! Gotta settle the wreckage in there? Got your dog? Oh, they literally do actually have settle the wreckage. One moment. That's a problem. Very good. Let's get some lands! I had to make sure I wasn't dead. Alright, so up to 7. Guess who doesn't have that many? I tried. Boop. Stop that. I want this. They had the thing. I'm kind of mad that they're playing it. They can make something big and flying, kill the bossery, maybe kill me, depending on how driven they are. So all they need to do is have a creature enter the battlefield and then attack. Do you think they're gonna see the line, or do you think they have Planeswalker tunnel vision? Because Guide of Souls does give flying. Good drawn-out game. Yeah, getting stuck in the, getting stuck, like, with the Containment Priest against it was just real bad for us. Huh, yeah, they have Planeswalker tunnel vision. Game action addiction is real. And it takes victims every day. All they had to do was attack me with the Chewinga. If you exiled a Dryad Arbor, would it allow creatures to tap for green? I don't know, because it wouldn't give the forest type, right? Because it's the forest type that gives that ability, right? Oh, wrong land there. I guess we just threw it. We're gonna get that boss out of here. Do you think they'll see it this time? Is Dryad Arbor typed as a forest? Yes. But because it is a forest, which isn't a creature type, it gains the ability. It's like inherent to the type. Like, I do want to know. I'd Googled it if I weren't in the midst of a game. Wait! Did they see the line? I think they did, which means we're gonna have to dig and pray. All right. We draw. That doesn't do it. Good game, Phelia. A fine match of magic that went on kind of long. That settled the wreckage, though. Ooh, that settled the wreckage. Kind of mad about it. GG. Also, apparently, this is just a side note I'm throwing in at the end. If you exile a Dryad Arbor with Agatha's Soul Cauldron, it does give all of your creatures with +1/+1 counters on them the ability to tap for green. Because it does. I don't understand Dryad Arbor, and I'm also not a judge, but that's just what somebody said on Reddit. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Brawl Stars. I hope you enjoyed seeing a return to Arwen, Mortal Queen, with the incredible new cards from Modern Horizons 3, and also a bunch of other recent sets. This is still one of my favorite cards to play. I love playing this deck. It's one of those ones that if you just watch on YouTube, you probably don't see it very often. But if you're watching over on Twitch, I play this deck a lot. It's a great way to just kind of like make number go up. Selesnya's got to be one of my favorite color combinations, and Arwen is one of the strongest Selesnya commanders we've got in Arena. If you're looking for the deck list, it's in the description of the video. And if you'd like to hang out with me over on Twitch, twitch.tv/Amazonian is the place to go, where I play a lot more decks than you see over on YouTube. If you'd like to suggest a commander for me to build or update based on Modern Horizons 3, please leave it in a comment. Just suggest a commander. I've had requests for some of the ones that we've even seen in this video, like Satya, and hopefully I'll get to them soon. There's a lot of them. But yeah, there's really good cards for commanders that were in Modern Horizons 3, and we're playing with as many of them as we can. Thank you so much for watching, and have a brawlful day.